Around the Ozarks is now on your FM radio. Listen to Around the Ozarks mornings with Grace Gooley as I spotlight local people, stories, and podcasts, all while playing the country legends of the 90s and the hit makers of the 2000s. It's on the Ozarks' best country, 105.1 The Bull. It's time for Around the Ozarks News, brought to you by the Springfield Greene County Park Board, Thompson Sales, Kitchen Land USA, Advanced Car Care, Smouse Brothers, and United Plumbing. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads.
Hey there, good morning to you on Tuesday, which I think for a lot of folks feels like Monday because of the holiday yesterday, which means a short work week, which is always nice. Welcome to it. We've got some news to tell you about.
All right, Springfield firefighters are investigating a deadly house fire that broke out early Sunday morning on Bellcrest Avenue. Crews were called just after 5:30 and found heavy flames, smoke coming from the house. And inside, there was an 88-year-old man, Norris Atkinson. He was found and taken to Mercy Hospital, where he later died. Two other adults escaped through a window with the help from some neighbors. Fire officials say that is an accidental fire, was ruled as that. Now to this one, Springfield police looking into an unattended death after a shed caught fire early Sunday morning. Officers and firefighters were called to the 1400 block of North Prospect around 7:50 in the morning, and they found a deceased person in the shed. The identity has not yet been released of that person. That investigation is underway.
Springfield-based O'Reilly Automotive is facing a federal lawsuit from a former employee over its 401k retirement plan. The suit claims the company used millions of dollars in forfeited funds to reduce its own matching contributions instead of covering plan expenses for workers. That lawsuit seeks class action status and alleges more than $24 million was used that way over 5 years. O'Reilly, at this point, hasn't commented. Republic School District has a new top administrator. The school board has named Republic High School principal John Thompson as assistant superintendent of academic services in the district. He steps into that role July 1st as the current assistant superintendent becomes superintendent. Thompson has had more than a decade of experience in the Springfield area schools, and the district is now searching for a new high school principal.
All right. Well, despite the bitter cold temperatures outside, a big crowd gathered yesterday morning at about this time for the big annual Martin Luther King Jr. March. This year's theme was Rising Together, encouraging community members to speak up and stand together for change. Participants also donated winter gear for people who are experiencing homelessness right now. Organizers say that event continues to grow each year.
It was cold yesterday, that's for sure. It's a lot of brave folks to get out there and do it on a day like that. But it's kind of the deal every year. It's the time of year, freezing outside. Although it had been nice and warm. Downtown Springfield restaurant has closed its doors. The Wheelhouse served its final meal Friday after less than a year on Jefferson Avenue. Owners say rising costs and financial pressures made it impossible for them to continue with that store. The restaurant first started as a food truck way back in 2012 and had become a local favorite over the years, but it wasn't enough to keep them open, which is sad. Hate it when the stores, restaurants have to shut down.
Yeah, I'm surprised that because of the following they had in the food truck, that it did not translate for them, you know? But yeah, I guess if you are going to a food truck, you like going to food trucks. You know
well,
what I mean?
they're different animals, and I think sometimes it translates because the food is the food, but there's something convenient about a food truck, or maybe the food truck is near a place where a lot of employees go. I don't know. It's when something moves, it's always tough for it to work, I think, because it's a new location.
Right. All right. Dickerson Park Zoo is celebrating the birth of 5 maned wolf pups. All of them are males. The endangered species is part of the national breeding program, and zoo officials say the births are a big win for conservation. The 3 of the pups can already be seen with their parents in the South America exhibit there at the zoo that is open daily from 9 to 4 during the winter months.
All right. Well, that's nice.
That is kind of fun.
And then there's this college basketball news in our neck of the woods. The Arkansas Razorbacks dropped 3 spots to number 18 in the latest AP Top 25 poll. The Hogs coming off a win against South Carolina, also a loss to Virginia. They will host Vanderbilt and LSU this week. Meanwhile, not too far from here, up in St. Louis University has cracked the top 25 for the first time in 4 years, coming in at number 24 on that list. It's always
lost to Georgia. You said Virginia.
Oh, did I?
Mm-hmm.
They're spelled similarly. Yeah,
that's funny. Not at all, actually.
But it's nice to see there's no University of Missouri in the top 25. They're not having a great year, but it's good to see St. Louis University, where Charlie Spoonhour, a lot of the old timers will remember Charlie Spoonhour. He was a coach, obviously, at SMSU, Missouri State, and then moved up to St. Louis University, and then went out to UNLV, where I went to school and was a coach out there as well.
And the students would say spoon.
Yeah, that's right. I thought they were booing him. I kept saying,
why would I know that? Was that during my time?
I don't know. He's kind of a legendary coach.
I guess that's why I know that. Because otherwise I'm like, I would have never.
Well, I think we covered
him coaching,
He passed away in 2012. So I'm sure that we covered that on the news, and you're probably remembering the stories about him.
Yeah.
From that.
Yeah, because I remember people saying spoon and you thinking that they were booing.
Yeah.
They weren't booing.
They're not.
In fact, they gave him a nickname. And anytime somebody is given a nickname, they're a cool person. But not if they come up with their own nickname.
That's right.
If you come up with your own nickname, you're a loser.
I tried to get myself called T-Bone for a long time, and it didn't stick. They called me Coco instead. But anyway, long story. Seinfeld reference for those of you who get it.
Yeah.
All right, that'll do it for us.
What's funny is I didn't get it, and I was like, wow. I'm actually surprised that Ethan tried to come up with his own nickname because I thought he was cooler than that. That's what I was thinking. But of course, it was a Seinfeld reference. I should have known.
Should have known.
All
right, everybody. Have a great Tuesday. Feels like Monday. So we're ahead of the game already. See ya.
All right. Bye-bye.
It's time for Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather, brought to you by Command Family Medicine, Heating and Air Paramedics, The Trailer Ranch, Hewitt Messenger, and Taylor Grubaugh Chevrolet. Here's your host, meteorologist Abby Dyer.
Good morning, everybody. It is a cold start on this Tuesday, back to work across the Ozarks, and temperatures are in the teens, feeling more like the low single digits. All the layers are necessary this morning for kids heading out to school. And by this afternoon, things will warm up pretty significantly, so you may not need all the layers that you have this morning. Later on today, with sunshine and high temperatures expected to make it back into the upper 40s. The forecast for later today actually looks quite nice. What we're seeing across the country, though, is big changes. We've got really cold air for the eastern part of the country. We, of course, had our Arctic air over the weekend, and yesterday conditions are likely going to be warming up, though, closer to seasonal averages again by the time we get to the middle of the week. And I've got temperatures that even look kind of comfortable by the time we get to tomorrow and Thursday. I'm watching winter weather in the forecast. It's kind of what everybody's talking about, winter weather potential as we head closer to the end of the week into the weekend. At this point, I'm thinking this is Friday evening into Friday night, lasting through the day on Saturday and Saturday night. Getting out of here by Sunday And for the Ozarks, at least today, it's looking primarily like a snowfall event. This is a big time winter system, though. I mean, we are going to hear about this in national news headlines all across the country because somebody, and maybe a lot of people, are going to get walloped from this winter storm heading our way this weekend. Models really starting to indicate that some winter weather is possible across the country, and it could hit some very major cities. So, well, the worst of it being the Ozarks, probably not, but we may get some snowfall out of this Friday and Saturday. And accumulation at this point does certainly look possible as that event draws a little bit closer. We're dry today. That's the good news. We have several nice, dry, and mild days to prepare for winter weather coming our way on Friday. It's cold, though, this morning, so make sure you just use caution. Limit your time outdoors this morning and cover all exposed skin. Of course, the pets don't want to be out for long in these types of temperatures with feels-like numbers anywhere from 1 to 10 degrees this morning. We've got sunny skies and high temperatures climbing up into the mid-40s today, 47, my official forecast for us here in Springfield. I do expect sunshine through the course of the day today, and we'll be staying near normal in the forecast through about Thursday. So today, tomorrow, and Thursday, the best days. Another cold front comes through late this week, and it opens the door to some super cold air. I mean, dangerous cold across the Ozarks. And in fact, I think that the cold is the bigger story than even the winter weather. Of course, if we have some snowpack on the ground, that will allow temperatures to get a little bit colder here in the Ozarks. And I think that's what models are picking up on when we see some of the dangerous cold heading our direction. You may have heard in national news headlines, it's part of the polar vortex. Well, that is true. A chunk of that kind of comes south, way further south than it typically does, all the way to Texas. And it is going to bring some big time cold with it. A lot of the country going to be dealing with temperatures they don't normally see. We are going to be mild until that system arrives. Right now, I have about a 40% chance for precipitation on Friday. Wind chill values Friday and Friday night, they're going to feel like minus 10 to minus 15. It is going to be seriously dangerously cold across the Ozarks Friday and Saturday. So the key message here is that a very cold air mass is expected to drop into the region over the weekend. This is not just for us in the Ozarks. It goes all the way to the southern part of the country. Probabilities for temperatures dipping down below zero have increased. And there is about a 45% chance that we see some of those sub-zero temperatures this weekend. So stay up to date on the latest. I'll, of course, have all the updates for you here on Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather. Around the country, what's making headlines? It's this Arctic air intrusion for the eastern U.S. They are now getting the cold blast that we had over the weekend and on MLK Day. Georgia and Florida are waking up super cold this morning with freeze warnings in place. And by midweek, we are expecting showers and thunderstorms to happen along the Gulf south in Wednesday, Thursday timeframe. And then some of those same locations may be dealing with winter weather and ice all the way from Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, including the Ozarks. And this stretches all the way over into the Tennessee Valley and to the East Coast into the Carolinas. I mean, it is going to be a vast winter system impacting the country this weekend. Travel will be tricky around the country. I'm just going to say it because there are some major hubs involved in where some of this winter weather is possible. All right, now time for the Around the Ozarks Wake Up Weather Brain Twister trivia question for the day. Speaking of snowfall, what is the record for snowfall in a single day for Springfield, Missouri? Do you think it is A, 12.5 inches, B, 17.5, C, 20.1, or D, 15 inches? Well, all of these are just super big numbers, and we haven't had an event like this in quite a while. However, B is the answer at 17.5. If you remember a very big event, though, from just a handful of years ago, I think 2013, I guess that's more than a handful now. Somehow it's 2026. But in 2013, which doesn't seem like that long ago, we actually had an event where more than 18 inches of fell over 2 days in the month of March. It was one of our biggest snowfall on record, but it spanned over 2 days. And the question here was snowfall record for a single day. So congrats if 17.5 was your guess. Here's the trivia question that I'll leave you with for tomorrow. According to some Ozarks old timers, if cows are lying down in the pasture, what kind of weather is coming? Do you think it's A, sunny and warm weather, B, heavy rain or a storm, C, a cold front with high winds, or D, fog and low clouds? What do you think it means when those cows lay down? You can let me know your guess. That's at the website, aroundtheozarks.com. Hey, speaking of the website, there is a weather page on aroundtheozarks.com with winter weather heading our way this weekend. I want to remind you that that page is updated 24/7 up to the minute all day long. So if there are any changes in new model data, the forecast there will reflect that. So make sure you check out the website for the official forecast. Thanks so much to our sponsors, Command Family Medicine, Heating and Air Paramedics, The Trailer Ranch, Hewitt Messenger, and Taylor Grubaugh Chevrolet. Have a great day, everybody. I will talk to you again early tomorrow.